You know, guys, there's other things you need in your boat. Just because I make hand-tied jigs does not mean I only use hand-tied jigs. To be successful, you're going to have to put just a little bit of everything in your boat. Anything you can think of. Back when, we fished a lot of tournaments there for a while with the Crappie Masters. Being that I was fishing in a tournament, I was not going to limit myself just to my hand-tied jigs. You've got to do more than that to make yourself successful while you're crappie fishing. One of my all-time favorites, and it's a tough one to beat, just a plain white tube, just with the split tails on it. That bait is more effective probably than any bait I've ever tied on, ever, hands down, period, is that tube jig. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that'll say the exact same thing. I have caught tons and tons of crappie off these little bitty baits. And that right there is absolutely my favorite. Not only do I use baits that are like this, baits with different shapes that do different things. I mean, look at that one underneath the water. It just keeps on moving, keeps on moving. Different sizes, lengths, you name it, it's in there just in case. You never knew when they were going to be wanting a big bait versus a small bait, pink heads versus orange heads, even kept a supply bladed baits. You never know. Always have them in your boat. Just because I make hand-tied jigs does not mean that's the only thing that I use. Even though you'll see me on YouTube make fun of people using plastic jigs and stuff like that, but it is in my boat. It's always in my boat. Bags and bags and bags of Bobby Garland baits, Mr. Crappie baits, they're always in my boat because you never know. You don't want to leave out something that might have made you successful that day, whether you were fishing a tournament or just looking to take home a limit of fish to eat. Plastic baits, hand-tied baits, crankbaits, minnows and bobbers, minnows and split shots, you name it. Always keep yourself versatile. Always have something there. You've worked all week. You get to the lake on the weekend. You don't want to devote yourself to just one bait. That's all you got. You got nothing else. Don't do that to yourselves. Always, always have an arsenal of baits to use. Different sizes to use. I mean, I've got in this box right here, 1/32, 1/8 ounce baits, 16th. I mean, you name it. I've got it here. Flashy baits, dull blades, natural colors, unnatural colors. Always keep yourself versatile. That don't mean you got to go out and buy $100,000 worth of tackle. Make a box for your plastics, different sizes. Make a box for your lead heads from 64ths all the way up to a quarter. Do the same thing with your hand-tied baits. And it ain't got to be really big boxes, just small boxes just to stash in there. And that way you've always, take 3 rods, put a plastic bait on one, put a hand and a hair jig on another one, put a bobber in the middle on the other one. That way you're set up. You're right. Everything's right there ready to go. Don't get so caught up in I only use this. I tie this. This is all I'm using. I tie my own baits, and you go through my boat, and there's Bobby Garland, Mr. Crappie, Little Arky, Bombers, Strike King. I mean, you name it. I have got full-size bass fishing, 20-foot diving crankbaits that we use for crappie when I think they're down really deep, and that's what they're going to bite on. Keep an open mind. Think outside the box. Think you're a fish. You want to eat. Sometimes it don't matter. And sometimes it might. Sometimes that might be the only color they bite on all day. Keep yourself open. Stay versatile, and see if that helps you on the water.